So we can kind of put all the different approaches up together, and we see that, our dividend discount model, the cash flow we're going to discount is the dividends. Our expected growth is going to be in income because we're going to pay dividends out of that. We're going to discount with a cost of equity, and we're going to want to forecast out individual years until we get to a point where dividends can grow at a constant rate forever. So if I have the case where dividends are going to grow, I know that dividends are going to grow at the same rate starting a year from today, I can use this very simple approximation, the dividends a year from today divided by R minus G, where G is the growth rate in dividends. That gives me the price today. So when I'm doing a dividend discount model, I'm going to forecast out all the future dividends until I get to a point where they're going to be a steady state growth, and then I can substitute the price the year before the steady state growth as P sub T equals DT plus 1 to the R minus G. With our free cash flow to equity, all we're doing is we're saying instead of discounting dividends, we're going to discount potential dividends. So we're going to look at cash flows after taxes, minus any reinvestment needs, any cash flows that, like interest payments that go to the bondholders. Our expected growth is going to be an income, and then really what I can pay out in free cash flow to equity. I discount again with the cost of equity, and I'm going to forecast out individual years until the free cash flow to equity is going to grow at a constant rate. So then I'm going to say the price at time t is equal to the free cash flow to equity at t plus 1 divided by R minus G. So really the same terminal growth approaches. It's just I'm discounting free cash flow to equity, or what the company could pay out in dividends instead of dividends. And then finally, my other approach here is the free cash flow to the firm. And this is the model that I tend to like the most. It tends to be the most useful. A lot of times we're looking at all the cash flows generated by the firm, right? All the cash flows generated by the firm before anything's paid out to the investors, subtracting any reinvestment needs. And when we talk about reinvestment needs here, we're talking about capital spending, so capital investors, investment in working capital, and those are the two main reinvestments. So instead of discounting a free cash flow model by cost of equity, we're going to discount by a weighted average cost of capital, because these are cash flows that can be generated by these are cash flows generated for all of the investors. Again, we're going to forecast out individual years up until the point where we think free cash flow to the firm's going to grow at a constant rate, at which point the price of, or the value of the firm, I'm going to say the value of the firm in year T is equal to the free cash flow to the firm generated in T plus 1 divided by R minus G, where R here, instead of a cost of equity, is a weighted average cost of capital. So that kind of sums up the main approaches we're going to use, especially at the beginning of the course.